Are you passionate about sharing your life, your expertise, or your creativity with the world? Do you dream of building a community around your interests and making a positive impact? Instagram offers an incredible platform for influencers to connect, inspire, and grow. In today's podcast, I'm going to explore actionable steps that you can kickstart your journey with and become a successful influencer on Instagram. My name is Christina Dennis, and I've been a DIY decor content creator since 2009. What started as a passion for transforming drab spaces into vibrant havens has now turned into something bigger, something life-changing. I'm supporting our entire family with the income from the DIY Mommy blog, YouTube channel, and social media platforms. But it didn't happen overnight. It took countless hours of brainstorming, creating, and sharing content about what I love the most: budget-friendly DIY decor and home improvement projects. Now I'm ready to share all of my secrets, tips, and strategies that helped me turn my passion for DIY decor into a full-time career, supporting my family along the way. Are you ready to transform your hobby into a successful career? Welcome to the Six Figure Creator Podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Six Figure Creator Podcast. I am so thankful that you are here. Today I'm talking about Instagram, and I have been on the platform since 2013. I believe one of my first posts, or the first post, was a picture of us building our current house that we live in. It has honestly been my favorite online community ever since I shared that very first post. I find that people on Instagram are generally the most supportive, creative, and inspiring people on all of the platforms that I use. I'm talking about Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I find, honestly, probably Facebook and TikTok have the meanest people on there, and Instagram has the nicest. That's the easiest way that I can describe it. To this day, Instagram is honestly the first place that I go when I'm looking for kindred spirits. I just love the platform. Instagram has changed a lot over the last 11 years that I've been on it, and now I honestly do see it as more of a short vertical video sharing platform. So those are Instagram Reels that a lot of us now see on the app. It used to be more of a photo-heavy sharing platform, and now it's definitely leaning towards more short-form video, which is really what a lot of social media has been heading towards. So now that's usually what I share on there are Reels or the short-form video, and those often do quite well on Instagram. Even though there's now a lot of competition on Instagram, you've probably noticed that the last few years have been really tough to grow on there. I sure have. I 100% still believe it is a valuable place to share your passion, to find your community, and to potentially and hopefully make an income as part of your content creation strategy as a full-time influencer. So whether you do it through sponsored content or by drawing people to your site from Instagram, there's a lot of ways to make money on Instagram, and I will talk about that at the end of today's podcast. So let's start by talking about how to grow and how to be successful on Instagram. So the first thing that I would recommend is to find your niche. I think this is the number one most essential step to starting your Instagram account and to starting a successful account. So really think about what you're actually passionate about. What topics or themes truly resonate with you? So is that fashion? Is that fitness? Is it travel? Is it food? Is it beauty, makeup? Is it DIY or decor? Most likely, if you're listening to this podcast, it definitely has to be something that you actually love and that you actually enjoy, because as I'm going to share later, you want to be able to be consistent with it, and it's hard to be consistent with something that you don't like. So you want to choose something that you love and choose something that you are naturally good at. And that's going to make your content more authentic and more engaging if you actually truly love what you're talking about. Now, I do believe that people can be successful sharing a wide variety of topics. However, I think that you are going to grow faster initially if you narrow down your niche, at least for the start. Narrow down your niche. I have seen lots of people start with a narrower niche, and then as soon as they develop a following that loves them, a community that's really engaged, they kind of branch off into different things. I've seen that work really well, but honestly, start with a niche to begin with if you do want to grow faster. The second thing I would recommend to creating a successful Instagram account is to truly define your unique voice. So there's so many people on Instagram right now, so many, lots of people are trying to make this their full-time gig or part of their full-time gig. Authenticity is so key. So really define your unique voice and personality and really figure out what's going to set you apart from everybody else in your niche. So let's talk about maybe the home decor DIY niche. So how can you create photos and videos and captions that are different than everybody else's? So maybe you are funny, maybe you're insightful, maybe you are just real and raw and relatable. Maybe you are inspirational. What is that thing that's going to set your content apart from all of the other stuff that we're seeing on Instagram? You might also want to integrate a unique style of video or photo editing. Maybe you do really fast, choppy edits. Maybe you do really slow and soulful videos. Maybe use the same color scheme in each post or something consistent in each post that is going to really draw people to you and make people know, hey, that's so-and-so. I really recognize, something in their content that they always do. Anything you can do to make yourself stand out from the crowd and make people recognize you is a really good idea. The next thing that I would recommend is to really create high quality content. And I don't mean like HGTV style videos. I mean content that actually is good and helpful for people. You can use a nice smartphone. That's going to do a really good job. Most smartphones nowadays are just as good as a lot of cameras. Just make sure you're capturing clear videos and clear photos. Make sure your audio is nice and crisp and easy for people to understand. You can experiment with different editing styles and filters and just continue to learn. There's so many amazing YouTube tutorials out there where you can learn how to edit, how to create good content, and just keep a posture of learning as you go through creating content. Consistency is also key here, so really try to maintain a cohesive aesthetic with every photo and video that you share to really reflect your identity by using some of those strategies that I listed up there in the point above, where you're defining your unique voice with every piece of content that you share. Next tip I have for you is to really engage your audience on Instagram. If you want to build that loyal community that is going to be clicking on your links and supporting you, that truly requires some genuine care for your audience. So make the time to respond to questions, respond to DMs, mention people, foster those meaningful connections, maybe do a Q&A in your Instagram stories, do those poll stickers, those question stickers. Those are really fun and they really do help you get to know your audience. Show actual appreciation. Even if there's only 5 followers on your Instagram account, those are people that are taking the time to know you and follow you, and show how thankful and appreciative you are to those people for being loyal. I think that really does mean a lot. Really take the time to listen to your followers, and that's also going to help you curate content that helps them. What are their needs? Really listen to them. What are some reoccurring questions that they have that you can provide an answer to? Something that's really changed my life as a social media content creator is imagining my audience as just one person and think about how I can help that person on a truly personal level. So I kind of create an imaginary avatar. I kind of know, the general age that my audience is. They're mostly women, so I think of a 35-year-old woman that loves to decorate, but she doesn't have a lot of money. So what does she like? What does she not like? What does she need from me? How can I help her? And sort of creating that ideal audience, that ideal community member is going to really help you create consistent content that connects. Next tip is to collaborate with brands and other influencers on the platform. And this can truly help expand your reach and your credibility as an Instagrammer. So research and reach out to brands that align with your values and your audience demographics. You can send them a DM, you can send them an email. I am in the very near future going to be putting out a template for a brand reach out emails. So definitely stay tuned to the sixfigurecreator.com or make sure to hop onto my email list to get that. I want to post a bunch of free resources. I do have a free media kit template for Canva on the sixfigurecreator.com. So after you listen to today's podcast, check that out. And that's going to help you look a lot more legit and professional as you reach out to brands. You can negotiate beneficial partnerships with brands like sponsored posts. You can add some affiliate links, or you can do some product collabs. And working with other influencers and doing some sort of fun collab, link sharing, shout outs and stories, joint projects, doing a video together, that can be really, really helpful and introduce you both to new audiences and strengthen your network. It's always fun to work with fellow influencers that are in your niche. And I also think it's a good idea to reach out to fellow creators with a similar niche, but also a similar follower size as yourself. So if you have 500 followers, look for someone else that has a similar amount, 500 to 1,000, probably not someone that has 50,000, because you want this to be mutually beneficial. The next way to be a successful influencer on Instagram, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, I'm very passionate about this, is to stay consistent. I truly believe that consistency is key to being successful, not only on Instagram, but across the board as a content creator. So if you didn't give it a listen to my last podcast, and I hope that will help you believe in the power of consistency. Develop a content schedule, stick to it. If you have a hard time with that, you can batch content on a day or two that you're feeling great and schedule it out over the week. Meta does have scheduling now for Instagram, and I do use that a lot. You do, though, want to prioritize quality over quantity. So really think about what you can actually produce in the time. So if once a week is best for you, do that. If 3 times a week is doable for you for actual good quality content, then do that. However, I really urge you to not let yourself get stuck thinking you have to be perfect, that every single post has to be perfect, because I believe the best way to learn how to create good content, helpful content, is to consistently share content, see how it does, and create something better the next time based off what you've learned. You're not going to know unless you try. The next tip I have for you is to analyze and adapt. So as you navigate your journey as an Instagram influencer, I believe it's essential to track your performance and adapt. So you can use those Instagram insights. They're right available in the app, very, very powerful. You can monitor things like click-throughs, like shares. Shares are really important, and you can analyze your follower growth. You should be able to see what type of content truly resonates with your audience and what doesn't. And if something works, do a similar post and just kind of tweak it a little bit. There's no harm in, sharing a very similar piece of content, but editing it slightly different if it does well. Also, I encourage you to experiment with new formats, try video, try photos, try captions, try music, voiceovers. Keep experimenting to see what things might work with your audience. Like all social media, Instagram is always changing, and it's always a good idea to keep adapting and growing with it. I definitely have had to do that over the last 11 years on the app. The next tip I have for you to be consistent and successful on Instagram is to stay inspired and continue to evolve. Social media is constantly changing. Like we said, it's essential to stay inspired. It's essential to be adaptable. Keep up with trends in the industry. So you can do this by watching other people's Instagram reels, by researching what is trending for the year. You can attend workshops. You can watch YouTube videos on Instagram. You can look at what other influencers are doing, and without copying them, do something similar that is in your own unique voice and style. And don't be afraid to explore new opportunities and pivot a little bit if things aren't working for you. I definitely believe that there is no shame in pivoting and trying new things if what you're doing just simply isn't working. I've definitely had tons of videos and Instagram posts that have bombed, and I've learned from them, and I've learned how to do better and experiment with new things. And, sometimes the things that I don't think are going to work. And it's very interesting to see that and build on that. The journey to becoming a successful influencer, not only on Instagram, but on all socials, is personal growth and learning and building and growing. And one of the reasons that I love being a content creator is because I never stop learning. It's always so interesting and I'm always learning new things. So let's wrap this up with talking about how in the world do you actually make money on Instagram. It's very important to first build an engaged community on the app before you can even think of making money on there. So think of it as, part of your overall strategy. And then at that point, there are a few different ways that you can make an income through Instagram. So the first way, and this is the way that you will probably want to start with, is posting affiliate links in your stories to products that you love and share. And I did talk about affiliate links in a few podcasts back, so I will link to that in the show notes if you want to check that out. There's a few different ways that you can join affiliate programs and share them. Long story short, affiliate links are links that you share. People click on them, they buy a product, and you get a commission. Next way you can make money off Instagram is lead your followers with links to your website where you might have products or services for sale. So if you have a product, you can sort of help your Instagram followers get to that product and purchase them. Or you can lead them to your blog or your YouTube channel where you may receive ad revenue. And I do this a lot because I don't make any kind of ad revenue on Instagram. So often I will share a sneak peek of a YouTube video or a blog post in my Instagram stories. People click on it, go right to the blog and YouTube, and then I can make some ad revenue that way. Finally, and this might be the most lucrative once you can get this way to earn money on Instagram, is you could work with brands to produce sponsored content in your Instagram stories, Instagram Reels, or Instagram photo posts. And I have had a lot of fun brand collaborations on Instagram that have actually paid quite well. And it's usually really fun to do these sponsored posts because you can be really creative with short form video or photos. And there's lots of opportunities there. So definitely something to work towards. So I hope that gave you some inspiration on growing your Instagram account. I know it can be really tough, but don't forget to be consistent. Don't forget to really find that niche that you love. Be unique. Create that high quality content that actually helps your target person that you want to engage. Be authentic and continue to grow, continue to learn, and continue to be inspired by your fellow creators. Embrace your creativity, share your story, be you, don't be anybody else, and just have fun. And you might actually create a community that might just change your life. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I will talk to you again in a couple of weeks.